Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Painted Dog TV. Very excited to get back out here again this morning after a very exciting evening last night, folks. We were hot on the trail of a leopard last night. Never quite caught up with it, but it was so exciting being so close to a leopard. And yeah, just couldn't wait to get back out here again with you all this morning. So myself, Andrew, who's back. Hello Andrew, welcome Andrew.
Hi.
And Mason are out again with you this morning, folks. Now, as planned yesterday, we are going to push east through the reserve this morning. But I'm just going through the area now of where we had some of that action last night, just to see if there aren't any fresh tracks of leopard. I am also hoping to connect with some lions and hopefully the herd of elephants as well again this morning. We believe the male lions and the elephants were all out in the east yesterday afternoon, right up against the eastern fence line of the reserve of Blowbank. And so we'll be heading that general direction, everybody. Gonna go past where we heard the monkeys going crazy last night. Just see if there's any sign of the predator that had disturbed them. And I'm going to start here at Kudu Crip. Just want to see if anybody came here for a drink recently. Who knows, we might have actually captured footage of a predator on the camera trap that we set up last night just below this water hole in the riverbed. But we'll leave the camera for several days before we come back, collect it and investigate the footage. Morning, Hanno. You're the second station out. No updates?
Copy, thanks.
Looks like a white rhino bull came and scent marked here close to Kudu Crip after we were here last night. Probably came here for a drink as well. Just switch off and listen here for a minute or two. While we do that, I'm just going to welcome our pack members that have joined us this morning. Good morning, Mary. Morning, Barbara. Morning, Carol. Morning, Ian. Good morning, Wendy. Hello, Guido. Morning, everybody. Good to have you all with us. Welcome to all of those on the public channel. Overcast morning, which means it's not too cold today, which is quite a nice treat for us. in our open game drive vehicle. Some of these mornings in winter on safari can be quite frosty. So grateful for the cover, the cloud cover, which keeps it a little bit warmer here in the morning. Just having a look around the little water hole here at Kudu Crip. See if any predators have come by. Doesn't look like that rhino bull actually drank here. No predator tracks either. Very quiet, very peaceful. Just a couple of the early risers, the birds starting to wake up. Just a reminder, everybody, there's a new keyword for this week, and the keyword this week is reflection. So if you want to get your hands on Charles's stunning image of a buffalo bull and his reflection at a waterhole, remember to submit the keyword reflection. Just going through the Sunsloot River here, which is where all the action began last night. Looks like a black rhino walked through here last night, going back up towards the waterhole. There's also tracks of a female leopard on top of my vehicle tracks. The elusive leopard. I'll try to show you guys these tracks. Can see where she walked right through the riverbed here. Right on top of where we had driven through here. You can see that last track quite nicely at the top of the spotlight. that furthest one there, Andrew. Shows up quite nicely. So, I was actually thinking to myself last night, everybody, you know, we initially were tracking a female leopard and then got thrown around because there were alarm calls everywhere. And we ended up going to these monkeys that were alarm calling for almost 20 minutes, which is a unusual amount of time for them to alarm call. And I wondered whether other predators might have reacted to that, hearing those alarm calls. Whether they might have come up here to investigate, see if there was a carcass they could steal from the other predator. Not seeing that leopard's tracks anymore. There they are there. It's quite a big female leopard, so I suspect it's probably Kudu Crip 2-3. I'm now starting to realize that she is the female leopard that has big paws, and she is a big leopard as far as females go. I'm pretty sure it was her tracks that I found after the first alarm calls that we followed for a short while, and I think she's circled back, everybody. She's picked up on these monkeys alarm calling just as we had, and she has circled back up here to come and investigate. Leopards will do that because they know the monkey's alarm calling could very well be that there's a leopard there. She'll come up here to check to make sure it's not another female that's encroaching in her territory. She might even be looking to mate with the male if it is a male leopard. And leopards are opportunistic. They will readily rob other leopards of their kills. They'll also rob wild dogs, they'll rob cheetah of their kills. Now lions will do the same thing as well, so you never know, we might end up finding some lion tracks in this area, because like I say, these monkeys went on for a very long time. So anything within sort of, well, when you consider how brilliant the hearing is of these animals, they probably would have heard those monkeys up to 3 miles away. And so there might have been a whole bunch of predators that converged on this area last night, which is why we've come through here this morning, just to see if we don't have any luck. Saw some hyena track back there as well, both of which have come this way. Mary, yes, indeed, there is a bit of algae that's formed on the surface of the water at Kudu Crip. You might remember when we were watching that elephant cow drinking there a couple nights back, how she was spraying the water out of her trunk. That'll almost certainly be because of the algae. Elephants can't stand it. So when they do get some of it up in their trunk, they'll usually spray it out and then go and try and drink. Carol, yes indeed, I have seen the sad reports of another leopard being hit on the road here near Rietspruit. I'm not sure where exactly that incident occurred, I haven't heard the full update yet. It's just, yeah, it really is incredibly sad and very frustrating. And I think the reality is that these leopards are being hit by the trucks. Our town is inundated with coal trucks transporting coal from the Phalaborwa mining area, which is only about 60 miles north of us. And they're transporting the coal from there down through our town towards Maputo in Mozambique. And some of these trucks, so there's a big intersection as these trucks enter our town. And I mean, there's a stop street at this intersection. There's a security camera at that intersection as well, where, quite excitingly, we recently got footage of a massive male leopard walking right across the highway at this intersection. And there's also footage of these trucks moving at about 50 miles an hour and not even stopping in the middle of the night, you know, like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. They don't slow down for the stop street, they go straight through it. And exactly at that point where that male leopard was recorded crossing the highway is that intersection. Now you consider a truck, you know, these massive 16-wheeler trucks coming through there at 50 miles an hour. There's no ways they're going to stop in time for a leopard crossing the road. So my money's on the fact that it's those trucks, those trucking companies that are at fault for hitting these cats. And there's a lot of uproar and concern from the community, local community here in Rietspruit, to try and sort it out. We have had successful conversations with these mining companies, putting strict protocols in place and consequences in place for their truck drivers. But I think it's still happening. They're not all on board yet. We're trying to get the SAPS, South African Police Service, involved. But I know how things work out here. There's lots of talk, very little action. What we need to do is we need to slow these trucks down. I think the easiest solution is to just put speed bumps, big speed bumps, in and around the area of Rietspruit, where there are so many of these private reserves, where there are so many leopards constantly on the move across the main highway. I think that's the only way we're going to stop these casualties on the road, is by slowing the traffic down. You're never going to stop this traffic from passing through our area. And so I'm certain that's the only solution. We need everybody to convince the local government to try and implement something like that. Not easy, but I can assure you, like I say, the community are heavily involved in trying to get that right. So I'm on the road now, everybody, that leads us up to where we had these monkeys alarm calling. I'm just going to go past that point, see if there's any further sign of predators. I don't have that female leopard's tracks anymore, but she may have cut through the block. I mean, you saw how I located these monkeys last night. Our leopard is going to be able to do that a lot quicker than I can, and pinpoint, you know, that exact position pretty damn well. She might have just cut through the block heading up towards this area. This is where I went in last night, where we did the adventure into deepest, darkest Africa here. I haven't seen any predator tracks on the road yet. There's female leopard tracks on top of our vehicle tracks here. That's very interesting. So she did come here after hearing these monkeys, but I can hear the monkeys are still here, and they are quiet for the time being. They're just feeding up there. There's enough light now that if that leopard were still around, they'd be going crazy. There'd be alarm calling at her again. Well, not again. It wasn't her that was here initially. We can tell that now by seeing her tracks on top of my vehicle tracks of where I came out of the block here. Yeah. So close. Story of our lives, indeed.
One Corvette and that's one of two cars.
Just wonder now if, after she came to have a look here, she obviously didn't find anything. Because, like I say, folks, the monkeys are still here. And they are just starting to get going this morning. Can hear them still feeding up in the trees here. So she would have moved on. She would have come to investigate, didn't find anything and moved on. Just now trying to think which way she might have gone. Her general direction from where we first discovered her tracks crossing the Sunsplit River was east. Hoping that's where she'll continue going east. See if there's any further tracks down here in case she went north. Hi Shannon. Lovely to have you with us. Yeah, trust me, I'm just as infuriated and would love to see a whole bunch of trucks getting airborne over speed bumps, the way they drive through our town. I definitely wouldn't do it again. I'd only have to hit one speed bump So it's interesting. Are leopard tracks here of this female coming from this side? It's not the one that crossed. It's not the one that I had the tracks of earlier that crossed the Sunsloot River. It's very, very unlikely. They've come from different directions. So as I was saying before, wouldn't be surprised if a number of predators converged on this area where these monkeys were alarming. Was busy watching a black stork, everybody, that just flew over our heads. En route to a waterhole, no doubt. Probably the one on Kaya Hippo Dam, the largest waterhole on the Rietspruit Game Reserve. Listen here again, everybody. Almost got excited there for a moment. Almost sounded exactly like a leopard crunching on bone, feeding on a carcass. But it is only the vervet monkeys that are feeding in there. I've just seen a vervet monkey briefly jumping through one of the trees over there. So there's definitely no longer a leopard here. Monkeys are all calm, there's enough light, they're busy feeding, getting started for their day. If there were a leopard here, that wouldn't be the case. So perhaps one of these leopards has pushed on to the east, and we're going to continue that direction now, everybody. It is very quiet for now on the reserve, Carol. Probably because of the weather. Very few vehicles out this morning as well. No tracks of those leopards here. One last road I want to check, which we take now. It's the road that goes around Boskamp. It's also an area where the male lions often come through on their patrols. Let's see if we don't find any tracks of them. Or the missing lionesses, the two missing females. Wonder where they're wandering about at the moment. So the 4 lionesses that were located on Leadwood last night ended up killing a impala. Pretty close. Pretty close to Leadwood Dam. So those 4 females are fat and happy. Some interesting scat on the road here. I just want to investigate. Looks quite fresh as well. Is it leopard scat? Not sure yet. Definitely a predator, and it does look like leopard. Still soft here in the center, but the outsides have hardened quite a bit. So probably early last night. The soil here is so heavily compacted, everybody, it's like concrete. Struggling to see the tracks of which predator laid down the scat, but just by looking at the scat, it definitely looks like a female leopard. Anyway, we'll continue up the road, see if we find any further sign. Make sure not to drive through that scat, otherwise we're going to end up having a horrible morning. It is indeed a leopard. Jeez. Leopard, sign of leopard everywhere at the moment, everybody. But like I say, it's from early last night. This is a female leopard again, but going back that way. Perhaps another individual that's gone to investigate the monkey alarm calls but coming from the eastern side of the reserve. So this could be Kudu Crip 4-3, who we still believe is the female leopard resident on the eastern half of the reserve. Could even be the mother of both of those young female leopards. But it is definitely a female leopard. Seeing the tracks here again, going that way towards where the monkeys were. Might have been quite a squabble between the female leopards last night in that area. There's a carcass here, guys. A baby zebra carcass. Wow, look at that. That could be leopard, guys. We might have spooked this leopard. Very interesting. Very sad for the baby zebra. But you can definitely see if you look to the right of the carcass that it's been fed on. Oh, shush to me. Now that scat that we saw back there, everyone, was very runny. And I can tell you now, it's because that leopard was feeding on the zebra foal. Wow, where is the leopard? Very interesting place to have kept the carcass. But it almost certainly belongs to that leopard. I mean, the scat is only 100 yards from here, and the tracks of this female leopard originate from this area heading towards where that scat was deposited. Shannon, to answer your question about scat, yes, female and male leopard scat does look different. Again, it's purely just size. Male leopards grow to be twice the weight, twice the size of a female. So their scat is usually quite a bit larger. Oh my word. Imagine this leopard came and turned up here. It is a very exposed area, however, so I don't know if it will. Also don't know where I would position the vehicle if we were just going to sit here and wait. But what I am going to do is just drive around here slowly. There's a big termite mound here to the right of this carcass. This leopard might be hiding on the other side of this termite mound. Oh, be quiet, Jackal. Jeepers. Sure, heart rate going again, everyone. Eyes on a swivel here, boys. Keep a lookout both sides of the road for movement. There's a little drainage line here where that leopard's probably hiding. She's not on the termite mound. Now she's going to need to move that carcass. It's far too exposed where it is there. Birds of prey can find it. Easy for a hyena or another cat like a lion to find it because of how close it is to the road. What she'll want to try to do is drag that carcass down into this ravine, into the drainage line. Definitely be more concealed in there. Let's just try poke our nose in here behind the termite mound, see if we don't see anything. Not going to be able to get in there with removing pieces of mason. And Andrew, let's just go back around to the carcass side again. Try go in from there. Just watch your head. We're very close to the airstrip, which is up here near Boskamp. I would imagine it was up there where this tracks were crossing. Yeah, she's been here a while, this leopard. There's tracks of her coming from all different angles back to the carcass here. But yeah, she might have killed the zebra up near the airstrip. before dragging it down here. So I'm seeing blood stains on the ground here, which now confirms this is where she started feeding on this foal. I had been wondering if she had maybe just been dragging the carcass here. We then disturbed her and she dropped it and ran off. But that's not the case. She fed here. It's these types of moments when you might get a leopard exploding at you. Sure, she's eaten a lot of it. It's a very new little zebra foal. One thing I know about female leopards is they're amazing at concealing themselves right in front of you. I once tracked a female leopard, or male and female. Tracks led towards a termite mound, and I climbed up on top of this termite mound, which was covered in long grass in the winter, yellow grass. Grass stood about this high, just above my knee, on this termite mound. And I was busy scanning around looking for the leopards. And as I moved my feet to take another step, that female leopard exploded from the grass beneath my feet on the termite mound. I'd walked right over her without knowing she was lying flat in the grass next to my feet. That's grass only as high as my knee. Interesting though. I can't see puncture wounds on the neck of that zebra foal. Which is one of the most obvious places for a leopard to suffocate its prey. But because it is a little foal, she might have just, what she'll do is she'll basically wrap the foal up with her legs and paws and then bite down on the nose and mouth, shutting off the breathing that way. But what's also very interesting is there's some civet tracks that went past the carcass. So there's been periods where she hasn't been at the carcass, which is why the civet could come and investigate. I just wonder if she's abandoned this carcass now, or whether she's still here. Usually I would expect a leopard to defend its carcass. With me going in like that. Maybe she is here. She's just waiting for me to leave. Don't see any drag marks coming and going from where the carcass is. So perhaps I was wrong. Maybe it's exactly where she killed it, right there.
What? You're not just on an instant high now. What is the way to every day in one of course the water quite operating.
To me, the line tracks that you've got, is it the males, and which direction? Sorry, I'm struggling to copy you. Did you say it's male or female tracks?
What I made, I think there were two, my daughter.
Copy that, thanks. Wow, what a find, hey guys. That zebra carcass, very interesting.
Good morning, there's one of the station on Lowveld, rhino, muffled under track, junction giraffe, female cheetahs, also in that area on the side of the fence line, there was a hippo near that straight.
Andrew's just spotted some lion tracks here, everyone. I just want to have a quick look. They are indeed lion tracks, Andrew. Very good spot.
Thank you, sir. You're talking me well.
But they don't look very fresh. Look quite old. While I investigate the tracks, everybody, I'm just going to mark my territory. I'll be back with you shortly.
I've done a loop from Leopard Dam looking for tracks to the north, put pillars to that area, there are no tracks there, so maybe they went south. check contractors now and the fence line, heading towards the river.
Now those are some very old tracks there of the lionesses. Some impala running away from me up ahead here. Some more lion tracks here, everyone, that I was just having a look at. They do look a little bit more recent, but still not from last night, maybe a couple nights ago, of the males coming through here. Now we've just heard reports from Dumi of male lion tracks up against the eastern fence line, which is where I was going to go this morning, folks. Might just head that way briefly, see if there's any sign of the male lions, but I do want to return to this zebra carcass, just see if there's been any change there, see if we don't get lucky seeing the leopard. There's water just here at Boskamp. She might have just snuck up there recently to go and have a drink. The cheetah that you heard being called in, Carol, I think is the two males. Two male cheetah on the southern fence line of Kaya.
No, we're looking for tracks, Jimmy. Nothing but tracks. No tracks. We can't find where they went after that kill last night.
So it sounds like a couple of the Leadwood residents are trying to locate the 4 lionesses that had the impala kill last night, and so far they've had no joy. Let's see if any lions came past Boskamp here, everyone. Certainly haven't heard the male lions this morning. They've been very quiet. Perhaps they're on a kill. Definitely some lion tracks here. Just now trying to work out if they're fresh or not. So there are definitely tracks going back and forth of the male lions along here. But I've just seen now where it looks like the fresher set of tracks are heading back here towards Boskamp. I can tell that because that set of tracks are on top of the ones that were initially heading east. Dumi did report those tracks on the fence line coming south, but from way up near the corridor, so they may have come down here and gone past Boskamp, perhaps on the other side. So let's go have a look at that side. Do me for Gareth. Have you still got the tracks going south along the fence? Confirm the tracks you're following. Are they still going south along the fence?
Nothing. I found only one track going north along the fence. I mentioned the one who got sent to benefit router. And I was going to the west block.
Okay, copy, thanks. Sounds like Dumi is struggling with the tracks. He initially had everybody of those lines, but quite a ways north of where we are. It doesn't look like they've come this side.
I like this man getting south to first spot there. So first spot to Leopard. This is about 220 again.
Okay, copy. Yeah, there's some tracks on Liu Router close to Wolfpot. Tracks are going east and west. They don't look very fresh, but yeah, I'm just busy checking Wolfpot towards the Boma now. So far no signs this side.
Okay. Guys, 3 miles were on the fence near Leopard yesterday morning, just so you know.
Copy that, thanks Chris. So just approaching the Boma now, everybody, where our female wild dogs are still patiently hiding out and waiting for a change in their circumstances. I just want to come past here and see if the lions didn't come this way. See if we don't see these beautiful female wild dogs as well. The wild dogs will be getting another meal today. Today is feeding day. I don't see them though. There are, however, male lion tracks here. Obviously just cut straight through. Went to Boskamp, probably had a drink. And then they've continued along the road here. I wonder if they weren't trying to connect with those two lionesses, these male lions.
What is supposed to bring the but the whole south, where we went in, or quite expensive.
There's more tracks here on Hoofpad south of Boma, heading south.
I'm coming that side to give you a hand. Remind the right side.
Copy. We'll continue to follow these tracks or these lines, everybody, for a little while longer. But I do want to head back to that carcass. Just make sure these lines didn't turn down here, which they very often do. It's interesting. Now there's only tracks of one male lion going down here. One of them went up there. So now which set do you follow? They must be on the southern fence line, I think, these lines by now. Just see how far these tracks continue along this way, folks. But this line might have turned back in to join its brother that's headed that way. I think that's exactly what it did. Male leopard crossed the road here as well, going east. Liz, I see you getting quite excited about the dogs there. That's awesome to see that enthusiasm. But yeah, as Mary has said, those wild dogs are not really very habituated yet. They tend to hide in the middle of the boma until feeding time. We're trying to limit the amount of vehicle activity around them because they do get quite spooked. But the team will be feeding those wild dogs a bit later today. Won't be during our drive. Good morning, Rosemary. Lovely to have you joining us. Had an exciting morning. Lots of signs of leopard. Found a zebra carcass, a zebra foal carcass, which a female leopard had killed and had been feeding on. And we're going to head back to that carcass shortly. We never saw the leopard, and we're just now trying to see where some of our male lions might have gone to. We had some tracks earlier. Not seeing their tracks, yeah. That male leopard came along here, everybody, that I saw crossing the road back there. But no further sign of the lions here. Some wildebeest that just caught my eye here to the right, everybody. Some blue wildebeest. That's a nice treat. More herd. We don't get to see a lot of wildebeest here on the Rietspruit. They look pretty relaxed, so clearly haven't been disturbed by any lions recently. Some impala running off with them there as well. Nice size herd. At least 7 or 8 animals in that herd. That's wonderful. Very nice to see. Yeah, Liz, so to answer your question, I think the 5 males that we had in the boma aren't coming back. Not yet, at least. It's been a long time now since their release, and they haven't once come back onto the Rietspruit Game Reserve, so we are not confident that that's going to work, that plan. So there is a new plan with different males. Now it's just a matter of getting through all the red tape to get those males here and try the bonding process again, is where we currently stand. Yeah. Female leopard tracks, male leopard tracks, leopard carcass, leopard tracks by the monkeys. Surely one of these leopards is going to show themselves to us. No tracks of these lions here, however. Do me for Gareth. Yeah, last tracks of those males cut southeast on Bomapad, off Hoofpad. That first road just south of Boma. But I've checked here to Pipe Lane. There's no tracks here, so maybe you must take a Nyala link towards Southern Fence Line. Maybe they're going that direction. I'm going to be leaving the area.
Just hovering this south. I hope that's the same. This is where the wind come on there.
Copy. Damn hitchhikers. Right everyone, I'm making my way back towards the zebra carcass. We're just going to go stake that out for a little while for the remainder of our drive and see if we don't have any luck there. I'm sure these lions are already very fresh elephant tracks here. Just going to say, I think the male lions are probably on the southern fence line of Blowbank. It's still quite a distance from here. Definitely try for the male lions this afternoon, folks. I'm sure we'll catch up with them later today. But for now, let's use the little bit of time left that we have to see if we don't have any luck with that leopard. Still good weather for leopard. Very cool conditions. There's definitely fresh tracks of these elephants here. I think I can hear one feeding. No. Grey-headed bushshrike fooling me into thinking it was a branch breaking, but it's just a grey-headed bushshrike snapping its bill.
now passing slowly. To the south, I don't know that. But I think I need to take because there's a tractor driving over the bridge now.
So it sounds like Dumi picked up on those line tracks again, everybody. They went in and went back to the main road we were on where we initially had their tracks, a road called Hoofpad. And it looks like they've already gone round the bend, avoiding the southern fence line, and they're heading straight towards our camp, the tracks of those male lions. So I'm pretty sure when we head out this afternoon, we won't have to go too far. We won't have to go too far to find those lions this afternoon. And Chris has just located the other male lion near Lowveld of South Dam. So most likely that's the injured male. Still hasn't connected with his brothers. But if he's heading west from that waterhole, a good chance he's going to connect with the pride. Yeah, indeed, Carol, I think that's something we definitely need to do, is to introduce some more wildebeest onto the Rietspruit. I think the lions have made a serious dent in their population. Could definitely do with some more wildebeest, especially because we don't have the bulk grazers, the buffalo. Very important part of the ecosystem, the blue wildebeest. So we definitely need to do that. Right. Now let's try creep in here as quietly as possible, everybody. We're very close now to where that zebra carcass is. See if we can get in here without spooking that leopard again. carcass hasn't been touched since we were here earlier. Very interesting. Something which my father and I noticed with the leopard that we habituated on Leadwood, the Leadwood female, is she would often abandon carcasses. I don't know exactly why that is. The only logical thing that makes sense to me is that the leopards are skittish, they're shy, more nervous here. And once they've filled their guts fully, will often abandon a carcass. So perhaps the scat that we found earlier was when she was leaving. We were gone for a long enough period of time now, everybody, that had that leopard still been around here, I think it would have already returned to this carcass, moved it down into the drainage line, got it out of sight. It's far too exposed here. And having found the, found the civet tracks on top of the leopard's tracks here at the carcass, is also a telltale sign that that leopard hasn't been here for a while. Because of course, if it were here, there's no ways that civet would have got close to the carcass. So, very likely that it'll be the scavengers that finish this one off. Maybe some tawny eagles, bateliers, vultures, hyenas, maybe even jackal might discover this carcass. I don't think the leopard's coming back, everybody. Should have definitely found the signs of her having returned by now. So I think we'll carry on, folks. We'll slowly head back west, which is the direction I think this leopard went, from the carcass to the scat and then further off to the west. Never know, might still bump into her. I think what we'll do this afternoon is try find the male lions that sound like have headed towards our camp. And come past this carcass one more time, everybody. Just see if there's any change here. Be very interesting to see if anything else does find that carcass.
Living one mobile in my people and combi, giraffe, one vehicle unlocked.
Shannon, yeah, so just going back to your comments about the buffalo being released here on the Rietspruit, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Yeah, we're unfortunately on the other side of the red line, the TB free line, so unless that changes, I don't see. Yeah, you see there's female leopard tracks going out here, guys. I think she's definitely abandoned that carcass. Yeah, I can't see that ruling changing anytime soon, so I'm not too sure when we might see buffalo here on the Rietspruit, unfortunately. Yeah, about a predator chasing her off the kill, no, not likely. Because, yeah, that predator then would have finished that carcass. Good morning, Brian. Good to have you with us, sir. Amazing. I think it's just a tree stump. It is. But Andrew's going to show you what I stopped to look at here, everybody. That tree stump. No. Andrew here on the ground. See the grey stump? I thought it was a pangolin, everybody. Right up against the side of a bit of a termite mound there. The colour and texture looks a lot like a pangolin. Almost looks like the scutes on a pangolin's body. That's why I stopped there. Sure, wouldn't that have been amazing? This is perfect weather for pangolin, by the way, folks. Most of my sightings of pangolin have actually been in the morning and under overcast conditions like we have here today. Pangolins will remain active in cool weather conditions like these. An animal which is predominantly nocturnal, but like I say, will sometimes remain active when it's nice and cool and overcast like it is here this morning. That female leopard continued along the road here, going west. I'd imagine that given how fresh that carcass is and how fresh that scat was that we saw back there, only a couple of hours ago that she abandoned that carcass and came this direction. Maybe around 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And she walked out this way. She might have tried to go have a drink. The nearest water that I know of here is at Kudu Crip. I did stop there this morning and didn't see signs of her there yet. But I'm definitely going to head there now and just go have another look. See if she went down here. Yes, Liz, there are both spotted and brown hyena here on the Rietspruit Game Reserve, but also, yeah, don't see them very often. The brown hyenas are very shy creatures. The spotted hyenas, not too bad, not too shy. We do get sightings every now and then, although the populations of both species of hyena are pretty low in this area. There's not a lot of them here. Mary pangolins, yeah, they can move relatively quick, but no, they're not gonna be able to scurry away to the point where I'm not going to see them. If they're close to the road, I'm going to see them moving. Liz, with regards to your discussion about elephant dung and it working on tsetse flies, Never tried it, to be honest, but any smoke will usually deter a lot of flying insects. So, you know, no matter what you're burning, it's going to probably deter the flies. But it's certainly yeah, it's really good for curing headaches, elephant dung, if you inhale the smoke. Only need small amounts of it, and it does work. I've tried it. Really good at helping with headaches. Of course, elephants have such variety in their diets and feeding on so many different plants out here. A lot of these plants have fantastic medicinal properties, and so if you burn that dung and inhale the smoke, it is pretty good at clearing up your sinuses and dealing with headaches. And it does have a slightly sweet smell to it because, again, of the types of vegetation that grow out here in the African bush. Just heard Dumi calling in the male lions now, everybody, and they're right by our camp. So they were doing their march around Boskamp probably at around the time we started our drive this morning. They've only now ended up being quite close to Mamba Dam, those two male lions. So myself, Andrew and Mason are probably going to see them on the way back to camp this morning. And we'll hopefully be able to show all of you those big male lions this afternoon, folks. So if you can, make sure you join us this evening. And don't forget the keyword of the week, everybody, reflection. Like the beautiful reflection of the Cape Buffalo bull that Charles managed to capture. That's the image of the week, and the word of the week, reflection. Nobody here at Kudu Crip for now. Still not seeing that leopard's tracks around here. Anyway, that's it. They've viewed us once again. But so promising and so exciting, seeing so much fresh sign of them. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We hope you have a magical day, evening, wherever you are in the world, and we cannot wait to be back out with you again this afternoon. Bye for now, folks.